Yeah, it's clear he's panicking. I mean, one of the most revealing political moments this week didn't come from a speech or a press conference. It happened during a live interview where Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was speaking with Sky News when an aide suddenly interrupted and told him point blank, "The president wants you right away." And within seconds, Bessent's microphone was removed and he was rushed out of the studio, headed directly to the White House Situation Room. Now, the interview stopped abruptly, and when Bessent finally returned 2 hours later, the topic of the conversation had shifted dramatically, and according to Sky reporter Wilfred Frost, Bessent returned visibly shaken, barely able to speak. Clearly, Dad wasn't too happy with what Bessent was propagating and needed to remind him.
I listened to you on the...
The president wants you. Sorry, the president wants you right away.
Oh, okay. Okay. No problem at all. See you shortly, Mr. Secretary.
You can work that in.
Mr. Secretary, I have to say, it's a first, I'm sure a last as well, that an interviewee's been pulled away to go to the Situation Room. How's the president? Was he stressed?
No, the president is in great spirits. The Iranian mission is proceeding well ahead of schedule. And, I have to tell you, Wolf, that I have a teenager who's considering military service. And I could give this team my highest compliment, from President Trump to the head of the Joint Chiefs to the Secretary of War. I would say that I would trust my child's life in their hands.
And after returning to the broadcast, Bessent revealed that the United States was considering sending Navy escorts to guide oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important shipping lanes in the world. The strait carries roughly 1/5 of the world's oil supply, making it one of the most critical checkpoints in global energy markets, as well as being responsible for fertilizer coming through, which farmers in the US are feeling the pain.
Start, are you considering another bailout for farmers who are concerned about the rising price of fertilizer given the war in Iran?
Yeah, so I appreciate that question. With what's happening in Iran, what that means for specifically nitrogen, urea, which is one of the key components of fertilizer. Our farmers are moving into planting season right now. So the president is very aware of these challenges and these issues.
Fertilizer, those that need to buy are hurting pretty bad because we've had this huge jump in fertilizer prices because of this conflict. And, with only about 30% of fertilizer coming through the Strait of Hormuz, that's, if you divide that out per day, that's about 0.09% of the world's fertilizer coming through there. And even if the U.S. only uses 30% of that, which I think is probably a really high number, that's 0.03% and per day. So we've only been in conflict for nearly 12 days here. And our fertilizer costs have jumped nearly 77%. And our corn price has only gone up by 5%. So we've got some real challenges here ahead of us.
Tanker traffic has collapsed. Maritime insurers have labeled the area a high-risk war zone, and energy markets have reacted instantly. Oil prices surged above $100 per barrel, the biggest disruption to global supply since the 1970s energy crisis.
Gasoline will soon be $5 a gallon. They could also bring down our country.
Gas prices are going to destroy this country.
Inflation is the worst it's been in 40 years. Gas prices are up 50%.
Those were comments from Donald Trump over the years as he warned that rising gas prices were a sign of failed leadership in the White House. Now, in 2026, Trump is back in office and gas prices are rising again.
President Trump just posted this on Truth Social saying short-term oil prices, which will drop rapidly when the destruction of the Iran nuclear threat is over, is a very small price to pay for USA and world safety and peace. Only fools would think differently. Today, a gallon of gas is costing Americans $3.47. A week ago, it was about $2.99.
People are outraged. The fact is, we have nobody in the White House to protect us. This could bring down Obama, but unfortunately, it could also bring down our country. Gasoline and fuel and oil, that's really the lifeblood of the country. That's what we need to work.
And that's where the economic story of this matter comes back into focus, right? And puts the sudden urge to yank the Treasury Secretary from an interview into perspective. The American people clearly are not happy with the fact that taxpayers are footing the bill for yet another war in the Middle East. Whether Trump likes to deem it just an excursion or not, Bessent even acknowledged the fact that the conflict has already cost the United States around $11 billion, while going on to stress that national security would come before economic considerations.
Obvious, based upon what happened last night, and you even previewed on the show, you said the Strait of Hormuz is going to be lit up last night, and it was. And one of those tankers was based in New Jersey. And there are our Gulf allies, obviously, are screaming from the rooftops. We weren't prepared for this. We need more help. India is making their own deal with the Iranians to make sure that they can get their oil out. China continues to get what they need. And we're left thinking, how are we supposed to address this without putting boots on the ground? And from what I've read, all of these military analysts are saying that we're going to have to send people onto the coastline to be able to secure it. And that is the line in the sand for the American people. When you look at the polling, it has definitely shifted towards more support for the Iranian strikes. I mean, MAGA is sold. The days of there's friction over this, that's over. So now it's 85, 90% support. But when you ask Republicans even about putting American boots on the ground in the Middle East again, they're not for it. Democrats, obviously, even much less, and independents. And if that's where we're headed, that's a very dangerous place for us to be, not only from a national security reason, but also a morale and President Trump's administration's perspective. I also think it's short-sighted to just be talking about this as an oil problem. This is a huge fertilizer problem. So 30% of the world's fertilizer comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Prices have already gone up 77%. There was an Iowa farmer who was being interviewed that I was watching, and he said, we were breaking beforehand, right? Farms are going bankrupt. We've been talking about, we got a bailout. We're going to need more. And now we have this.
And at home, gas prices are at the forefront of the repercussions.
Erased all of those gains. Gasoline prices have exerted the most immediate impact felt by consumers through the magnitude of the pass-through prices to other goods, still yet unknown. So, Brian, you talk about who's operating on an economic timeline. I'm not saying we don't do this because I'm worried about the price of oil tomorrow. But I think you have to be prepared for that pushback when people have seen the price at the pump. And we've talked about how the cost of gasoline goes into every single thing that we touch and breathe. And yes, it's spring planting season and we can't get fertilizer for our guys in the Midwest. And so I think that's sort of the economic issue that people, I think, have a right to question.
And they ought to hold their government accountable. I agree with that.
So when you partner that with the image of the Treasury Secretary being abruptly pulled from a live interview to deal with a war crisis, it says something about the moment the administration is facing, right? It suggests a government scrambling to manage multiple problems at once, with the widening conflict with Iran, rising oil prices, and growing concern about the economic fallout. They're hardly projecting confidence at all about any of it.
I'm doing something about it. And I had to take an excursion. We had the greatest economy in history. We still do. Oh, this will bounce right back. When it's over, and I don't think it's going to be long, when it's over, this is going to bounce right back so fast.
When are you going to know when it's over?
When I feel it.
Okay.
I feel it in my bones.
Will you ask anybody in particular? Would that be some of the a joint decision?
Well, I deal with people. I have great people.
Yeah.
Trump promised that there would be no wars. And so to get into this war, conflict, whatever you want to call it, is such a fundamental betrayal of one of the core tenets of this movement that it makes you wonder who is advising him.
I mean, they can't even align on what to call this thing. Is it a war, a conflict, an excursion? And here's the thing. While wars dominate headlines, which I'm sure this administration is well aware of, economy dominates elections. And right now, the two stories are becoming impossible for the Trump administration to separate.
Along Iran's southern coast, the Strait of Hormuz is at a virtual standstill due to the threat of attacks. That has led to a nearly 50-cent surge in U.S. gas prices in just the past week. And drivers are starting to take notice.
It was quite a bit higher than what I was expecting. It's crazy high.
Between my husband's truck and my car, we're well over $300 a month in gas.
At work, I make around like $18 an hour, and that's not even a full tank. It's like 2 hours at work is one tank. All of my money has been going to gas.
Today was kind of a big sticker shock.
It's getting tougher and tougher to live.
The real-time repercussions are becoming harder to manage, to the point that the Treasury Secretary is being yanked from interviews like a petulant schoolchild. None of it shows confidence.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.